Hello, friends. I'm doing something a little different today. This is going to be a little personal, not necessarily something I talk about on a regular basis, but I wanted to come on here and share a little bit about an article that I read this week in the Washington Post titled "The Crisis in American Girlhood." And it caught my attention because this is what I'm currently living. And it's reminiscent of what I've lived at times in my own childhood. And I feel a lot of things after reading this article. This feels really vulnerable, and I'll probably get a little emotional. But one of the things that I'm feeling is incredibly grateful today to be in the position to be able to show up for mothering and for supporting my kids from as healed and conscious of a place as possible for me at this time. I feel grateful to have the flexibility to dial back work so that hopefully I can be a safe and welcoming and honoring and encouraging space for my kids to reach out, to openly share, to receive support and guidance through the trials of childhood. And I really recognize and appreciate the privilege to not have to answer to a boss. Even a boss that might be deeply supportive and understanding. Because I know me, and I know, number one, I've had a boss like that. And I also know that even with a boss like that, I would probably still feel stress and guilt anyway, even though I know there's no reason to. I'm also profoundly grateful that I'm not doing this alone. I'm not doing this as a single parent. I'm grateful that our family is in the financial position that it's in so that I can let go and step away from work and business and step more fully into what I now see that Spirit has been preparing me for all along. This gratitude comes after a period of profound stress. Even when we have the privilege, the opportunity to be the kind of parent we really want to be for our children, it can still feel like Atlas carrying the world on his back. Even with the support of a spouse and family and friends, our society, the way humans generally do life and work and family and community today, well, all I can say is that for me, sometimes it still feels like bailing out a boat in a tsunami. We need to show up for children. Yes, the children we know and the children we don't know. And frankly, I'm at a loss for what that looks like on a collective scale, but I know a little bit about what it looks like from a personal and individual perspective. And I really believe that our collective piece starts to fall into place when we start with the self, when we heal our own wounds, when we humble ourselves, when we speak for what we need, when we ask for help and we receive it. Much of this we can do for ourselves, and some of the most lasting breakthroughs I've experienced in my journey happened when I chose healing guides and healthy containers and communities to support me through the most challenging stages along the path. And you know who you are, and I thank you. I thank you for helping me be this mom. A mom that I'm proud to be. Even if our work together wasn't about that. We can't delegate this support for our children solely to the government or their schools or even all the healers in the world who want to help. We cannot show up for children in a powerful and an empowering way when we ourselves are not doing our own inner work, regardless of whether you're a parent or not. Maybe you're a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle. Maybe there are no children in your life. But your inner work matters to this, to them, to us, because it will impact parents and caregivers and children and society in ways you might expect and in ways you would never expect. What would this girlhood, childhood, what would this childhood, because our boys are not exempt from this. They need healthy men and women just as much as our girls. What would this childhood in crisis look like in a world where we openly, honestly, and respectfully express our feelings? Where we speak truth and be our beautiful, authentic, vulnerable selves. When we feel safe and unshakable to ask and advocate for what we need. A world where we model this to children for generations to come. Where we model self-love and self-respect and healthy compassion and communication. Where we model cooperation and collaboration. A world where we actually invite children to be seen and heard and feel valued and included in our life. Not as an extension of us, but just as a valuable person in our life. The time to believe children is long past due. They are asking us adults to listen and believe. And it's a fair and simple request. And it's time for us to step up. It's time for us to step up by getting radically honest with ourselves about how we feel, what we've internalized, what we've repressed, what is crying out to be loved within us that wasn't loved when we were kids. Because in order to walk with children through the dark, all of us who answer this call need to elevate our emotional maturity. We need to elevate our consciousness, our spiritual connection. And we need to expand our capacity to truly see, hear, and feel these children. So that even if a child doesn't have access to that adult, that kind of adult, in their own inner circle, they know exactly who they can turn to in their community and feel safe doing that. More of us need to do the work required to hold that kind of space for these children in crisis. We all need to become that safe, compassionate place for the world's kids. And really, my intention and my hope for all of this is that if you have children in your life, you read the article. There'll be a link somewhere to it. And that you take these words to heart. I have seen this as a parent, and I have lived this as a child, as a teen, and even as an adult who had become quite adept at hiding pain and pretending that everything is great. So check in on the children in your life, even when they seem happy, especially when they seem happy. Even when they're sharing the best part of their day and the future plans that they're excited about, ask about them. Know them. Go deeper than asking surface level questions and moving on to your adult stuff. Genuinely listen. They may not share, but don't stop trying. And when they do share, listen. Actually listen. And when they're done, simply ask, what do you need? How can I support you? Do you need me or want me to do anything? It is that simple. That's how we start helping these kids in crisis. It is really sacred to be someone a child can turn to. And it's a high honor to be the kind of person who can show up for them. And I'm just one person, I'm one mom who's really feeling this and really is doing a lot of this for my own kids. And I don't have all the answers. And I'm fumbling my way through it. But I want to be there. And I want us as a society to be there. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, your ideas. I invite you to leave a comment here. Feel free to reach out to me directly at gail@thestorystylist.com. Because our kids need us. And there needs to be a better way to support them at this time.